My 7-year-old broke a kid's jaw, and the surgeon asked for her autograph. I was sitting in a client meeting when my phone buzzed for the third time in 2 minutes. The first call was from Oakwood Elementary. The second was from someone identifying themselves as Officer Caldwell with the county police. The third was a text from the school principal that just said, "Please come immediately. Situation urgent." My hands went cold as I excused myself from the conference room, my mind racing through every possible scenario. My daughter Lily was 7 years old, quiet, the kind of kid who brought home injured birds and cried during sad commercials. Whatever situation was urgent enough for the police to be involved couldn't possibly be what I was imagining. The drive to the school took 12 minutes that felt like hours, and when I pulled into the parking lot, I saw 2 squad cars parked near the entrance. My stomach dropped as I walked through the front doors. The receptionist's face told me everything before she even spoke. That practiced look of professional concern mixed with something that might have been pity or judgment. She directed me to the principal's office without making eye contact, and I could hear raised voices echoing down the hallway before I even reached the door. Principal Delacroix stood when I entered, her expression grave. Across from her desk sat a couple I recognized vaguely from school events, the Ashfords, both wearing expensive suits that screamed lawyer even before they introduced themselves. Their son Damien sat between them with an ice pack pressed to his face, and I could see the swelling even from where I stood. Mrs. Mai Ashford spoke first, her voice sharp and controlled. She informed me that my daughter had violently assaulted their son on school property, causing severe injuries that would require surgery and potentially permanent damage. Mr. Ashford added that they were both attorneys and would be pressing criminal charges for assault, along with a civil suit for damages they estimated at $500,000. The number hung in the air like a guillotine blade. Where was Lily? I asked, my voice coming out steadier than I felt. Principal Delacroix explained that she was in the nurse's office being evaluated, and that was when Officer Caldwell stepped forward. He told me that based on the severity of the injuries and witness statements, he would need to take Lily to the station for processing, and my heart actually stopped beating for a second. Processing meant fingerprints and photographs, and my 7-year-old daughter being treated like a criminal. The Ashfords started talking over each other then, describing the attack as vicious and unprovoked, explaining how their son had been minding his own business when Lily had apparently lost control and struck him hard enough to break his jaw in 3 places. Mrs. Ashford pulled out her phone and showed me a photo of Damien's face from right after the incident. The swelling already severe, his jaw visibly misaligned. It looked horrific, but something didn't add up because Lily weighed maybe 50 pounds soaking wet and had never shown any signs of aggression in her entire life. I asked if I could see my daughter first, and Principal Delacroix led me down the hallway to the nurse's office while Officer Caldwell followed. The Ashfords stayed behind, but I could feel their eyes boring into my back, already calculating their legal strategy. The nurse's office smelled like antiseptic, and Lily sat on the examination table with her legs dangling off the edge, too short to reach the floor. Her right hand was wrapped in an improvised ice pack, and when she looked up at me, I saw something in her eyes I'd never seen before. Not fear or guilt, but a kind of fierce satisfaction that made her look older than her 7 years. Her knuckles were split and swollen, blood dried in the creases of her small fingers. The school nurse whispered that Lily had refused to explain what happened, just kept asking if Tommy was okay. I sat down next to my daughter and took her uninjured hand, asking her as calmly as I could manage to tell me what happened, and she looked at me with those eyes that were suddenly too old and said 4 words that changed everything. "Damien hurt Tommy, Dad." My 4-year-old son Tommy had severe developmental delays and attended a special needs program at the same school. Lily was fiercely protective of him in a way that sometimes worried me. Now she explained that during recess, she'd heard crying coming from behind the equipment shed and found Damien and 2 friends surrounding Tommy. My son was on the ground crying, and Damien was holding his phone up, filming while the other boys laughed and pushed Tommy whenever he tried to stand up. Lily said she told them to stop, but Damien had just laughed and said something about getting views on TikTok for the retard crying. She described how she'd tried to help Tommy up, but Damien had pushed her away, then deliberately kicked dirt in Tommy's face while still filming. That was when Lily grabbed Damien's phone and demanded he delete the video. Damien responded by shoving her hard into the fence, then told her the video was going up tonight and everyone would see what a freak her brother was. She'd gotten up, handed him back his phone, and when he turned away laughing, she'd punched him as hard as she possibly could right in the jaw. But what Officer Caldwell found next on that phone made me realize my daughter wasn't the criminal in this room. The rest of the story is linked below.